Okay, a problem as I see it that should be addressed. I guess the next part in the strategy is each of us has nerve, and we must overcome this nerve to do uncomfortable tasks like cleaning out a toilet. You know, the toilet stopped, it's making a mess. You need to be able to use the thing again. You don't want to spend money on a fucking plumber. So you got to get in there with the plunger or the snake or figure that out, right? And at first you might go, ooh, I don't want to do this. I know I have to, but I don't want to. And then you have to deal with reluctance. It's the same thing in war. I know I have to get out of my foxhole. I know I have to go over there, but I just don't want to. Like, the idea makes me uncomfortable. Well, man up, pussy. I was going to make a video the other day about how I was under the misconception that when people realize that they are slaves, that they will want to be free. That's not true for everybody. I was also under the misconception that when people know the truth, they'll be so mad they'll do something about it. Again, that's a misgiven, because that would imply that they gave a shit. A lot of people just don't. Plus, what about the ones that just have no awareness whatsoever? We've been dumbed down so long. They've been spraying us and poisoning us and shooting us and nebulizing our mind with the crap. Well, hasn't it paid its toll? There's a lot of fucking burnouts out there. There's a lot of mongoloids. There's people that just cannot take care of themselves, or they're just not going to. These are the masses. Why do the history and public and others talk about how great an individual can be? A hero, an explorer, a celebrity, if it is not compared to the collective. What am I trying to say? That people instinctively look for some kind of leadership. They look to an example. They look for a trust, something that they can trust, something to put their faith into. And nobody really wants to be on the outside, alienated. So if somebody represents the collective that you want to be a part of, then you kind of end up falling behind that leader. I'm going to be real careful because I might be talking about fascism here soon. But that's not the point I'm getting at. That's down the line. But the point I'm getting at right now is that I have contemporaries and people I talk with that go, well, the ultimate solution is a pretty hardcore extreme one, but it's going to happen because once people know, nothing can stop it. And that goes back to my argument a minute ago where I said, is that really true? Because a lot of people know about a lot of bad stuff and just let it continue. So, do we really expect everybody to do what's morally right if given the truth? That is a big fucking expectation. So rather, I see it as the collective mass, the populace, the sheep, whatever, are this sphere. And the sphere has to be led. So we were on the bottom side, on the dark side, and we've started to shift, and then we're now moving around the far side to get to the front, to be the point of this sphere. I know that's fucking terrible geometry, but Okay, so you have this group of people, and we can't carve through them. That's no. And we can't let them squash us. No. And we have to get the ones on the other side that are running the show. Because until we wrestle it away from them, of course they're going to lead the people, the mass, the sphere, whatever, to destroy us or off a cliff. So it really boils down to who is going to grab the steering wheel once the present driver loses their grip. Will it be exactly the same driver? No, we won't let that happen. But will people punk out? Will people lose their nerve? Will people get complacent? Yes, because that's how we got here. Everybody's like, well, how did the 109 times happen? I'm telling you. Well, look right now. Watch. This is how it happened. That everybody knew, started to know, was figuring it out, whatever, okay? And they said, let's go do something about it. And the ones nearest, the ones being loudest, said, sure. But as it moved further and further away, everybody was like, which way are we going? And then way at the back, they're just sitting there with their head down, listening to their headphones. They just don't give a fuck. So, here's the question. Do we have to move from, eventually, is it necessity, that we should move from naming, because that should be given, to wrestling control from those that are next coming to take control by selling pacification? Because if the ones that know what absolutely must be done are not in control, but instead ones that say, you really don't want to go to this extreme. Come on, take it easy, back down a little bit. There's got to be some kind of compromise. Not all of them are bad. We got to keep a couple of them around. Let's let bygones be bygones. It's not. If we let those people steer the masses, then the masses will fucking destroy us. They will gobble us up. Don't you see it? So how do we get from naming them to expelling them to keeping the masses from going back to those things, to accepting them back in and forgetting to talk about them? Well, that's power play, isn't it? How do we do this? Well, that's going to be another video, maybe a couple of talks. But, damn it, this ride is not over. Even if everybody starts naming them again, this problem is only going to intensify as it nears the end. Okay? As we get closer to Mordor, we're going to run into more goblins and orcs. Don't you see? Yes, people are finding out. But people are also fucking stupid. And most of them just do what they're told. So, if we are the authority on naming them, because we understand the nature of them, the situation, the problem, and we have a pretty solid grasp on said response to said people problem, i.e. a solution, then why would we want anybody else rallying the masses around any other solution? We need to stay the authority, and we don't do that by pumping the brakes, and we don't do that by celebrating early. I hope this makes sense. Let me try to wrap it up real quick for you. They're not going to go down without a fight. They change their spots. They hide in broad daylight behind stolen identity. They corrupt language, they poison the well, they leave the gates open. They will never fucking stop. And they depend on us compromising. This boils down to conviction and keeping your nerve. You cannot talk about a problem and walk away when it's time to solve it. You cannot say that the toilet is clogged and the house is disgusting if you are not willing to roll up your sleeves and clean that shit out. Godspeed.